In a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, said George Orwell. Hi, my wise astrology tribe. Welcome back to Lunar Grace. I am your co-pilot, Krisztina. May 31st, 2026, we're going to experience a Sagittarius full moon, and this is your mooncast right now. So this full moon in Sagittarius is one of those lunations that carries both beauty and danger. It is rich with mythology, fixed star symbolism, moral tension, and spiritual consequences as well. The moon reaches fullness at 9 degrees 55 minutes Sagittarius, placing it in the first decan of Sagittarius and directly on the royal fixed star Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. Across the sky, the sun opposes the moon from Gemini near the royal fixed star Aldebaran, the eye of the bull. This activates one of the most ancient symbolic axes in astrology, Antares and Aldebaran, passion and integrity, vengeance and honor, the wound and the witness itself. You also have to know Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and in this chart right now, what you can see because I shared the screen, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer and already moving into a conjunction with Venus. Venus is in Cancer, actually entered May 22nd, May 18th, and getting close to Jupiter. They're going to conjunct June 7th, so it's going to be a very precious day for us. But this gives the lunation a deeply emotional and also protective, also feminine and moral tone as well, as you can see. The truth is absolutely not abstract here. The truth has consequences for families, for homes, for children, for land protection, nations and women, and anyone who are vulnerable. So when you have to ask a question, this full moon actually going to ask us to examine our beliefs, because Sagittarius rules belief system. What do we worship? What do we defend, right? Because of the moon itself is the home and the family and the land. And Jupiter also justice. So what do you call justice? And where have we confused moral conviction with emotional revenges as well? All right, guys, before I start to jump into this lunation and, analyze this, I want to ask a favor from you to subscribe, like, and comment below, hype my videos, help me with shadow banning. I talk the truth. I talk about Middle East and recent political and geopolitical issues, so I'm shadow banned. And, if you're not afraid of the truth, then probably you will like this channel. You are welcome. Because I speak the truth and I live the truth all the time. Also, you have to know I'm queen of the quotes as well. You will hear me quoting all the time, and I'm obsessed with Arabic parts, different timing technique, fixed stars, and also asteroids. And I get down to the rabbit hole very often. I'm researching and I share my findings with you. So tomorrow I'm going to, and I have to tell you guys, I created a video for you about the Kennedy's curse, 9/11, Charlie Kirk's death, and even the Trump assassination attempt as well. We will see what's going on, even Ivana Trump's death as well, and Shujir. Balajir, the guy who got killed. Actually, they said it's a suicide, but definitely it was a murder. And I'm investigating that, and I'm going to show you a few things, because not all path and road leads to Rome. It leads somewhere else. So, all right, that's tomorrow. But today we're going to go and get into the Sagittarius full moon, and we're going to start with the Sabian symbol. You guys know also, I love Sabian symbol as well. It's always going to give us an additional flavor. And the Sabian symbol right now is a theatrical representation of a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. So it's, definitely there is a recognition in the Sabian symbol. Definitely there is a public opportunity as well. Um, it's going to emphasize protection and reward and, like some kind of uh, ego as well, because of a lot of people starving for recognition and this recognition feeding of obviously the ego as well. So yes, and because of its theatrical as well, that's why it could go to the other side. And for example, recognition could become simple vanity over here. All right, so let's see, my loves, what's going to go over here. This actually also represents some kind of ceremonial activity as well. And this is a full moon in Sagittarius, which is opposing Donald Trump's sun. And he has a Sagittarius moon anyway, so as Ivanka Trump has Sagittarius moon as well. But you know what? It's it's ceremonial, right? It's theatrical. It's a stage. With a flaming arrow, right? Because it is actually in 9 degrees 55 minutes, which is 10 degrees Sagittarius. So it's the first decan. It's absolutely Jupiter ruled. It's absolutely, like very, the moon itself, it's very generous and it's also truly educational as well, because, Jupiter rules the ninth house, Sagittarius rules the ninth house. So everything about philosophy and religion over there. Who is your priest, for example? All right. So I also would like to know where this Sagittarius moon landing in your chart as well. So comment below and let me know if you have any Sagittarius placement or, Leo or Aries. Does it trine with anything? The moon itself, this Sagittarius full moon going to trine with Saturn, Pallas Athena Vesta as well. And as I said, Jupiter, the ruler of the moon, is creating already a conjunction with Venus as well, as you can see on the chart. So yes, and I also love historical parallel, and sometimes I'm going back. But also you have to know this full moon is also called a strawberry moon. It's a blue moon. We talked about that when I was talking about the Scorpio full moon, May 1st, on my children's birthday. But I told you the blue moon is happening when either in one sign within a month, two blue moon, or it's in 1 month, two blue moon happening. So right now, because May 1st and May 31st, we had two full moons, we call it the blue moon. And that's why it's very rare occasion. So that's why we say it many times, like once in a blue moon, because it's rare. Phenomenon. So yes, it is also the seeker's moon because it's Sagittarius, obviously, and Sagittarius is the seer, the seeker, the teacher. Yes, so I let me know where did it land in your chart and if it's going to do any aspect for you. Actually, it's landing for me on my Neptune and North Node conjunction in my first house. I'm a Sagittarius rising, and it's also trine with my Leo moon in the ninth house and my Venus in the fifth house in Aries. So Venus is in detriment for me, but also in planetary joy. So hopefully it's going to help me to bloom my channel, for example. Let me know what do you expect from this full moon. And full moon is when the moon and the sun is across to each other's, right? And they are in opposition. Opposition is Saturnian in flavor. And they are also bringing in some kind of closure, ending, signing off of contracts as well. Yes, so symbolically, that's what it means. It's some kind of culmination, some kind of harvest during the full moon. That's like harvesting happening, exposure happening as well, because the moon is bright and it's actually ending a cycle, but also it lights up the sky. You know, during full moon, we always have a beautiful, bright sky, and it could expose the darkness, for example. And, you know, sometimes it brings in dramatic reaction or overreaction as well, because the moon is ruling your emotion, your subconscious, your fears. It is also your tears as well, right? So the moon always reveals the truth as well. It shows the hidden, because the hidden going to become visible. That's what you have to know. And because of the moon itself, it's the family. Also, it's the public sentiment as well. It's the general public as well. You know, it is good, and the marketplace also in financial astrology. So definitely, it's some kind of illumination and culmination as well happening during this time. Um, so it's you know, when the evidence appear, the feelings going to get testified as well. Uh, and yes, and let's talk a little bit about Sagittarius, because I always talk about mythology. If not history, then I bring in some kind of mythology for you guys. And you know, Sagittarius rules the ninth house. It is actually a mutable fire sign, right? Anything to do, because it ruled by Jupiter, and the ninth house and Sagittarius itself, it's courage and faith and your instinct. And it is heat as well, because it's a fire sign. Sagittarius is totally, and the mutable energy is totally restless, you know, but also adaptable. Mutable is adaptable, capable to adapt to changes. So that's very, very good. And Sagittarius is always searching, you know, very, very philosophical as well, and very generous as well, because ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is generosity as well. So Sagittarius is, you know, the bonfire. It is also the preacher, the philosopher, the foreigner, the outlaw. Sagittarius could be also the outlaw as well, the prophet, the half-drunk prophet, you know, because Sagittarius rules the liver as well, and it's really indulgence, so loves to drink and eat. So it could be the half-drunk prophet, the comedian. It could be also the comedian, the just, you know, the one who brings justice. For example, Sagittarius rules the gods, and you know, ninth house is anything to do with the priest, the religion. It's a philosophy as well. So obviously, it's going to bring in some kind of ending in religion, or you know, like maybe we will see it could be a religious person, a philosopher, you know, passing away, for example, or some kind of news, because Sagittarius also rules publishing and media, social media. It rules YouTube as well. I maybe even YouTube channel going to be shut down, or we will have some kind of issues with its censorship, right? Obviously, it could happen nowadays. And it also rules long distance traveling and higher educations, universities, and foreign lands, anything to do with your passport, you know, visas, immigration, for example, it rules immigration as well, and the gurus as well, border protection. So what do you stand for? What do you believe? It's you know, very important during this time when we have the Sagittarius full moon, to ask that from yourself. And the shadow of Sagittarius tend to know it all. So very, very dogmatic. So because I'm a Sagittarius rising, sometimes it's hard for me to get criticized, and I always think I know it all, especially because my Mercury also in Aquarius. So yeah, but you know, I'm trying to get better, obviously, and do my own human revolution. But yeah, it could be that. So I know myself. But you know, Sagittarius also the missionary. It could become very fanatic as well. And the one who is the world traveler, for example, the spiritual tourist. Sagittarius always wants freedom, for example, and sometimes very indulgent and very irresponsible, sometimes quickly acting, right? And buying stuff that they don't need, Sagittarius. And then I have a Sagittarius friend and Italian, and he comes home sometimes with a Ferrari and the wife went crazy, So he did so crazy things. But yes, Sagittarius could be very quick and very irresponsible as well. And in mythology, Sagittarius is the archer centaur. You can see that I told AI actually to create that archer centaur for us. And it's half human and half horse. So the human half reaches upward toward wisdom, law, and meaning and divine understanding. And that's why the image is it's really matter over here, because the animal half carries the appetite and the instinct, right? The wildness, the freedom. And the man half is carries, the wisdom and the law over here. So Sagittarius is a scholar, but riding like a wild animal, right? So very, very academic sign and also really elegant and truly generous as well. But fire sign, often could create, wildfires because of, as I said, not responsible. All right, and on the other thing is the ruler. We're going to talk about the ruler, which is Jupiter. In the daytime, Jupiter rules Sagittarius in the daytime, and Jupiter rules nighttime, the 12th house Pisces, right? So it rules two signs. And Jupiter in Roman mythology, but in Greek mythology is Zeus. We know that the Greek god, and the sky father, the thunder god as well, the king of the gods, Jupiter, is associated with expansion and law and prophecy and wealth and blessing. The fairy godfather, it is the Santa Claus energy, the kingship itself, the teacher, the priest, anyone who bring justice for others, for example. It's integrity and moral order of the universe. That's what Jupiter was for the universe. And yes, so also very courageous as well, very, very courageous. But, the shadow side of Jupiter could be, very excessive entitlement and also arrogance as well. Jupiter could be. Sometimes Jupiter-Venus conjunction in certain signs could bring in white supremacy. So racism, for example, as well. So yes, very entitlement, hypocrisy as well, and it could bring in corruption, greediness as well. So, for example, right now, during this time, you can see they are in mutual relationship, the Moon and Jupiter, because Jupiter is in Cancer, but the Moon rules Cancer, right? And the Moon is in Sagittarius, but Jupiter rules. So that's we call in astrology mutual relationship, mutual rulership, actually. And Jupiter, right now by transit in Cancer, it's exalted. So it's a VIP. It loves to be here. It is like you would go to your vacation, like bucket list vacation, go to Hawaii, and everything is given to you. You don't have to do anything, and you feel absolutely on cloud nine and fantastic. Everything is given. So, yes, but Jupiter in Cancer says law without compassion is cruelty, for example. Faith without care is actually only a performance. Protection must include the people who cannot protect themselves, the children. And, many times I'm thinking of that in America, we do a lot of, like protest, no king protest. And I was like, okay, that's great. But why don't we do a protest for our children, save our children, because of the Epstein file? And somebody has to organize. I don't have time to organize a huge caliber like protest like this, but I would be definitely there to save our children. Yes, and so this is definitely, like in mutual relationship, mutual reception, and Cancer is ruled by the moon, so it's like, a circular relationship happening over here. And the moon itself, it's the land and family. So definitely we're going to hear a lot of things about, like homeland security, mothers, single mothers, real estate, how to actually, like maybe even good news about real estate, veteran cares, something to do about also high education, maybe even, just only Florida student could, become first they're going to choose Floridian student and not going to allow, for example, international student unless all the Floridian children, I'm just saying an example, get into universities and rest of the seat could go wherever. So we can hear something in news like this, but I'm going to go to the geopolitical climate and we're going to talk about education and health and everything over here. But we also have to, talk about the conjunction between Venus and Jupiter. You can see that on the screen. They are 11 degrees away, and they're going to conjunct June 7th, as I said, in late degrees, 27 degrees Cancer, close to the Rockefeller degree. So what I want to say over there, and Jupiter is in exaltation, it's going to bring in Venusian energy, guys. So anything to do with Venus, that is too benefic planet. We call Venus also, love and beauty and currency, money. It's absolutely in traditional way. It's a blessing. It's expanding something good. It's harmonizing. For example, peace or attracts more. That's when we can actually manifest, right? Beautify our home, uh, reconcile our relationship with our children, with our mother. It seduces, it softens because we talk about Venus over here. And Cancer itself can, repair families and healing women's itself, or could bring in fertility and motherhood for some. But also, Venus also is the food as well. So it could bring in hospitality, ancestral blessing, something to do with food and land as well. Moral questions about children, how we raise children, how we educate children, and really recognizing children's our blessing in our life, for example. But also it could bring in caregiver energy as well, guys, because of the moon itself is the mother. So some of us will need to take care of our mother because they are old and ill, and it's giving an opportunity, a caregiving opportunity as well. So Jupiter Venus over here, it's like a child in Disneyland, right? Or you are on a VIP, as I said, bucket list traveling. So this is really, really great. This is almost like when you were a little child and you remember the food that your grandma made, or how she set the table, that kind of energy. It's very sentimental energy, guys. All right. What I also wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about the two royal fixed star. Very, very important. Because the moon itself is going to conjunct with Antares, and Antares is coming from the west, and it's Archangel Uriel. Very, very, I mean, it's not funny, but Antares is actually, if you have that in your chart, Antares conjunct my North Node, Neptune conjunction, and often it brings in jealousy, or people are copy you or copy your anything, your knowledge, your mind. So if you have actually any kind of planet, your ascendant, your sun your rising on Antares in your natal chart, it could bring in a lot of rivalry. So that could happen with you, and it's happened with me always in my life. Yes. So it's the royal fixed star, and it is between 9 and 10 degrees. Sagittarius in tropical, but originally in the sky, it is the heart of the scorpion. Okay. Um, so Antares is described actually. Ptolemy said it's Mars and Jupiterian energy. So, that's the quality that Antares has. So it has a very intense energy because of Mars, and, it's honor and passion as well, but also it could bring in danger and, stubbornness and conflict as well. As I said, rivalry energy as well. So it's not definitely a fairy tale fixed star over here with Uriel. It's the heart of the scorpion. Sometimes it's going to bring vengeance and obsession as well, survivor instinct, and it could become desire for war and some kind of poison arrow as well. Uh, for example, you strike when you feel threatened energy. But also if you use the higher octave of Antares, which is very high octave, it's a royal fixed star, it's an archangel, then you can bring in great success. You can become a leader. You can become, like someone who honored as well by the public. But also, it's a moral test, and because of the full moon is ending, it's going to be a moral test for humanity, for the public, for the general public as well. Where do you stand? Can you hold your power without revenge? You've been actually harmed and humiliated, but like as a leader, maybe. If you are a CEO or anything, but can you keep going without being revengeful, or like, can you fight without becoming poisoned by hatred? That's the questions over here when you face betrayal, right? Because that's the heart of the scorpion, and scorpion is absolutely revenge and betray and very vengeful, rage as well, because they have the survivor memory, and they are not letting go. There is a lot of obsession as well. Yes, so outrage. But because of the moon is in Sagittarius, Sagittarius anything to do with like media, for example, over here. So it could be also bringing in right now. We need to make sure what is propaganda and what is not. So where is the fake news? Where is the fake AI videos, for example? And who is lying? Why are we controlled, and are we invaded, for example? Because Sagittarius is also foreign countries, and it's also freedom as well, and the moon happening over here. So obviously, like, are we lied to? Are we having propaganda? And quite frankly, I don't watch a lot of TV and news right now at all, only YouTubing, because of Larry Ellison bought everything right now, bought up everything, and even TikTok and BBC and Paramount and everything possible, give it to his son. And everything is a lie, and they keep creating lies and propaganda. So obviously, I'm not watching news. So yes, the moon is on Antares. So it is, it could become ancient, anger, something to do with a survivor memory, something to do with prophetic intensity, or anything to do with a rage, but it's ancestral rage. From our parents, from our nations, for example, where we belong from. Just look at the Middle East, what's happening over there. And, like maybe the ones who are suppressed and who are, you know, have betrayed every single day, slowly killed and carpet bombed, there could be some kind of ancestral range right now coming back. But as I said, because Sagittarius rules foreign affairs and also ideological extremism, and also anything to do with borders as well. So I assume that it's going to be something with ICE. Maybe ICE going to lose the recent leaders. Right now, I told you guys and I predicted who is going first. I told you Christine Gnome gonna leave, and then I told Pam Bondi. I'm still a little bit scared for Pam Bondi's life because she knows a lot, and I showed you the chart for her, and it is shows a lot of danger. And I told you Tulsi Gabbard gonna be the next. First, they're gonna get rid of women, and after Cash Patel and even Kennedy have to resign soon. So I'm gonna show you why. But not right now, not during this full moon. With my investigative astrology, I'm going to show that. So yes, and then you can see Antares is also opposing Aldebaran, and Aldebaran comes from the east, rising on the east, and it's Archangel Michael. It's a royal fixture, right? And it's in Gemini itself, Aldebaran. But in traditional Vedic astrology, it's the eye of the bull. It's in Taurus. It's the eye of the bull over there. Uh, and the meaning is actually comes from Aldebaran is the follower because he is following the seven sisters in the skies because they are in Taurus 29 degrees, the seven sisters, right? The Pleiades. And only six of them can be seen because one of them are shame because, get married with a moral human, and that's a mortal human, and that's why it's not seen, it's hidden in the sky. We were talking about that many times. But okay, so Aldebaran is the follower, and it is coming rising on the east. And it's, bringing integrity and honor and success also. So if you have anything in 9 degrees Gemini, for example, or if you have a progress, Venus, Moon, anything happening over there, it could bring in moral and success. I do have my progress, Moon and Venus conjunct 9 degrees right now on Aldebaran recently. So yes, it's moral purity as well. It's integrity, right? And those two are opposing to each others right now. Um, so as the moon and the sun opposing each other as well. And Gemini is the messenger, right? That's the opposition. We always have to check the axis energy because it's giving you a different layer as well. And the axis energy is Sagittarius is the preacher, Gemini is the student, guys, because it rules the third house, it rules primary education, anything from preschool till high school. And Sagittarius rules universities and colleges and philosophy and higher education. So, obviously, yes. So Sagittarius is the preacher, the Gemini is the student over here. Gemini also the journalist. Sagittarius is the judge and the professor. Gemini also a journalist, the writer, for example, as well. And Antares opposing Aldebaran, the lesson is, the truth versus lies here. So that's the lessons. And the information against beliefs, for example. And are we going to believe whatever is showed for us? Or are we going to question? Is it a lie or truth? Or are you going to believe whatever they show you? Because that would be a tragedy, right? You have to be curious. And Gemini is actually curiosity. Gemini is really agile and very curious sign ruled by Mercury, obviously. Sagittarius more certainty. It's Jupiter. It has a deeper knowledge, but obviously that is right now the questions over here. Facts and like for example ideology going to be across each others. Aldebaran says do the right things for the right reason. But Antares says, do not let the wound become the weapon. Don't get poisoned during, if you've been betrayed. Don't become poisonous, right? So just like, the Medusa story. She got raped, obviously, and she became very poisonous because she made everyone to become a stone. So don't become someone like Medusa, and that's you stay have morals and integrity no matter how much have you been hurt during the time. All right. Also, we have to talk about Saturn a little bit here because the full moon going to trine with Saturn, Pallas Athena, Vesta, and Neptune. Saturn is actually in fall in Aries, so it's absolutely annoyed and has no power and very frustrated. Saturn in Aries is very frustrated because doesn't like that kind of Martian energy. Saturn, like to take it times. It's the Lord of karma. It's responsibility as well. It's the government itself. Anything to do with discipline and consequences and endurance and time itself. And in a sign of Mars, which is everything bold and quick and like Mars never think before it acts. So Saturn absolutely hates this kind of immediate action and that kind of violent sign itself, or warmonger sign itself. But Aries wants independence, for example, and has that kind of survival instinct and want to take actions, but Saturn doesn't. And Saturn in Aries can feel like a soldier with old bones, like inflict PTSD, for example, a warrior who forced to learn patience, definitely, a leader who has to stop reacting or has to resign, for example. So we can see a lot of military leaders to resign because of, they don't want to be the consequences of the order that they have to carry on. Mm. So Saturn in Aries is discomfort, right? What I said. Um, and let me see, where is my shoes over here? Because the boys always make the house so cold. And yes, what else can I say over here? Yeah, it does require humility. It has to admit that courage without discipline becomes just stupidity, and it's going to to hijack the cause, for example. Uh, it says in areas, Saturn, be brave, but please don't become reckless as well. Fight, but know why do you fight. If you don't know why do you fight, then that's again, you are confused, you don't know what you are doing, and you don't have to become impulsive. And then we have Pallas Athena, and we also have Vesta in Aries as well, the feminine goddesses over here. And the warrior, Pallas Athena is obviously pattern and recognition, political intelligence, justice, defense, and wisdom. Pallas is strategy. Pallas is warfare. But Pallas and Aries are siblings in mythology. But Aries was always reckless, Mars, and Pallas Athena always fought with wisdom, never was bold. And that's why, with wisdom and intelligence, always won the wars, why Mars many times lost. Because it's bold and reckless and just goes to war without any thinking. So that's why there is some kind of losses on Mars side here. But Pallas definitely could bring in, Pallas Athena is, because of her strategy, she sees the best, she sees the whole chessboard when she's playing. So Queen Bandit, if you saw the that series, definitely sees everything and very strategic and make sure, she always sharp, she tactical as well and direct, and she defends the matters, defends the cause. Um, and Vesta is your sacred fire in mythology, anything to do with your devotion. That is the purification, the priestess energy, the flame we refuse to let die, the flame within, the last flame, your last song, but you have to wrote about in this lifetime. So that's Vesta over here, the sacred flame here, the warrior priestess, for example. She asked, "What are you willing to protect?" Because there were the virgins who were protecting this sacred flame. So very important. What is the flame what you are protecting right now? That's the question over here. Uh, and you cannot get distracted. You have to compromise, right? Because of you have to tend the fire constantly. So that's some kind of compromise over there. And together over here, Pallas Athena and Vesta, as you can see, and Saturn is over there as well. They are supporting this full moon because they are trining, and trine is a Jupiterian in flavor, in energy, and giving a sacred strategy for the full moon, for example, right? And it's not some kind of, dramatic preaching here. It is something to do with courage and something to do with focus as well. Uh, Fighting for something which is your purpose, and make sure you protect the one who is vulnerable during this time. And Sagittarius is 9 degrees 55 minutes, so it's still in the first decan. So it's an extra Jupiterian energy over here, an extra generosity, an extra teaching, an extra philosophy coming in here, religion, right? Anything to do with publishing legal arguments, for example. I can see a lot of people going to have some kind of legal issues, especially podcasters, YouTubers during this time. But thanks God, Vesta and Pallas Athena are there, and they are devoted, and they can keep the sacred, tend the sacred fame, and they're capable to, with wisdom, win the cases what was built up by propaganda against them. So that is very, very exciting. I like that. Because, Vesta and Pallas, the trine, it's very inspiring. It's really brilliant energy over here, what gives, an extra excitement for this full moon here. Yes, okay. So the mythology over here, the full moon, as I said, it's a manifestation. It's something is ending, something is came to the end. You finish something here. Maybe you just finished, university and you're ready to go out and get a job right now. So obviously it could be that as well. Jupiter in Cancer actually says protect life, protect vulnerability, right? The ruler of this full moon. Remember the mothers, the children, the homes, the ancestor, anything to do with the displaced people, the hungry, the grieving. And that's Middle East, and not just Middle East, it's also Ukraine and Russian war, Yemen, Taiwan, whatever happening around the world, And Antares over here, because of Antares, the full moon is on Antares. Do not let rage rule the kingdom. Do not allow poison reach your heart. It's the heart of the scorpion. Don't act from revenge. And Aldebaran is honor the price of your success. Make sure if you did something, you are celebrating yourself. If you get healed, you celebrate yourself as well. And Saturn, because it's in Aries, and Saturn is definitely courageous. Saturn says courage must grow abound here. So you need to be disciplined and you need to become courageous. Also, you have to think before you act. Pallas Athena says, see the whole entire chessboard and, don't act without thinking. And blessing is coming because Venus and Jupiter is there, right? And it is ruling the full moon. So blessing is coming into our way. And then let's see how can it unfold in our life. So usually I talk about each individual sign, but also talk about geopolitics. I'm obsessed with mundane astrology and history, guys, and I love politics. I truly love, and I try to. Sorry, let me drink water. All right. Okay. So what could it bring into our life? For example, in mundane perspective, anything to do with international court and legal battles, right? Because of that's the ninth house that Sagittarius rules. So, for example, it could be something like some nations going to get the right to go to FIFA or to go to to lose the right to enter countries, for example. It could be also some kind of political leaders not going to be allowed in different countries. Trump and Trump family not welcome to Australia, and Ben Gvir and Netanyahu is forbidden to set foot in many countries. They will be actually arrested, and that's what Jupiter is law saying over here. So that could simply happen right now, and we can have actually because Aldebaran is across in the axis energy, so it demands evidence and witnesses and recording. So there are going to be a lot of documents and witnesses recordings what can actually not undermine the court. So it's helping the international court system to put this kind of war criminals in prison and arrest them. And Antares obviously want vengeance because of the moon is over there. So they could, those kind of leaders before they're going to go to court or law and justice going to be ordered on them, they can do some kind of revenge before. But also because of they are opposing each other, so Aldebaran, Antares, Sun and Moon, right? So it's some kind of political opposition movement happening as well. In the US, we are entering, a very hard period right now. We have, the we are choosing our governors right now and Senate members as well. And Thomas Massey lost, and right now it's coming out actually. They both his loss or the place for the other opponent right now. And it's very very sad. But obviously, there could be some kind of political opposition movements. And maybe the opposition going to get some kind of power. Armenian election is coming up in June 7th. Please see my Substack because I write a lot of political pieces and financial pieces as well, and see my Armenian report because it's very interesting. And in, for example, the Turkey situation right now, because that is really a perfect example and expression for this recent sky at this moment with this full moon, the opposition leadership and police force and protest, obviously, and the accusation of authoritarian consolidation as well. So that could be also symbolic for this full moon as well. And that could be also some kind of anti-corruption parties and some kind of outsider candidate gaining some momentum as well. So corruption happening everywhere. It's not only in Turkey and US or Israel and Russia or wherever. It's happening everywhere. But right now, Aldebaran demands integrity, right? Aldebaran is honor and success, and it's Antares going to expose the corruption through outrage, obviously, and the people, which is the moon, the public, going to have enough. There could be some kind of issue, corruption issue with Cyprus as well. They have election as well, and as I said, Armenian as well. But the corruption going to be exposed, and Aldebaran demands integrity. So, as I said, Sagittarius wants justice. So, a lot of people going to be jailed right now following this full moon, and the lunation always goes in half-year cycles, guys. So it starts with new moon, ends with full moon, but the full moon also starts a new cycle, obviously, until new moon. So it's always working within half year. Uh, Yes, and it could be like an anti-corruption person is coming up and, like getting popularity. In Florida right now, we have Fishback, who is getting a lot of popularity. He's actually, to be a governor, right now leading 43% as it is today. I checked the news. So, yes, we will see, but it could happen as well. But it could be also something to do with immigration, right? And ICE could bring in more battlefield, more issues, for example. Uh, Sagittarius itself, it's foreign lands or foreign government as well. Cancer and the moon is the national land, defend the national land. So there could be like in America, we have questions about APEC, right? They are not registered. We know Kennedy got killed. I'm going to come with my investigative astrology. We're going to see where is it leading, right? With asteroids as well. But this full moon also could, you know, uh, expose who is behind the scene, what kind of nation, foreign lands, foreign government is hijacking the elections in different countries. It's not only happening in America, right? It's happening also with Armenia and other countries as well. So definitely we're going to see that, right? And there could be also some kind of major issue around immigrations as well. Yesterday, I saw a podcast with Kyle Kolinowiski. He's half Italian, half Polish. The father is Polish, mommy was Italian, and he's very liberal, a democratic guy. And he actually showed in his podcast in US, the Trump administration bought up a lot of properties, like it was huge warehouses were actually was on the market over 10 years and didn't sell for 50 million. Instead, right now they been bought for 126 millions, multiple one, and it is a facility for immigration services, and they put actually the Datanese over there. But people who has citizenship, so this is insane. But that's all corruption because those people actually corrupt as well because connected with the recent regime, the recent government over here. So yeah, just check the what is that YouTube podcast, guys. And many times, because I barely have time and most of the podcasts are so long, I do a summary. I use a lot of, you know, uh, tools where I can actually see the transcript. I'm checking it and I'm summarizing it. So I have more knowledge and I see the major topics and I know what to talk about, for example. And I'm up to date with everything every single day. Yes, so there is some kind of definitely survival issues coming in as well, something to do with famine, guys, something to do with food. And it could be something with peace negotiation also because we have Jupiter, Venus, which is affecting this full moon, and Venus is peace, right? So Cancer is exalted. We have to take care of the woman, the family, the children, right? It's soften the whole entire signature of this chart, at this recent chart, as I said, something to do with diplomatic repair as well. Um, but Antares is over here, so peace is not given. It is, it has to expose who is behind. Antares could bring in blood and rage, as I said, revenge and humiliation first, and the full moon itself as well. And you can see what's going on with public grief. So many people lost their life, the oil pressure as well, humanitarian crisis is all over. So obviously, yes, that is, what's gonna happen first. But yes, later on, obviously, it could bring in peace, but it's very slow. It's not given. It's because of Antares and Aldebaran is such a different energy. The Scorpio heart is so poisonous, and as I said, it could be very revengeful. But it could bring in also military exhaustion as well because it's trine with Saturn in Aries and Saturn is in fall. So, for example, the US says they have the best military, but eventually they're going to realize it's not. And there is a propaganda but doesn't show how much of a loss happening with the US military. But somebody going to hack, again, not just like Cash Patel gets hacked, but it could be they can hack, the governments, and then they're going to show actually what's happening and what is real. So that's really important, and it can show the military exhaustion, right? And it's not just that, the military exhaustion, but the soldiers itself, they have PTSD, and it could bring actually more because we had the Scorpio full moon also, and it's a blue moon, so two full moon happened. So obviously it's interconnected and interwoven, right? So there could be a lot of suicide as well because of PTSD. So yes, and the Hormuz is still not open. I mean, it is open in for some, and Iran is right now willingly taking payment in Bitcoin. So it's going to affect Bitcoin, obviously Ethereum as well, because if Bitcoin is the king and it's pulling up, then Ethereum going to pull after. But I also going to make a video about some of the major, gold, silver, S&P, and a few things I'm gonna bring in my next video, but not in this one. Or maybe just a separate one. Yes, it's better to do a separate one. Yes, so anything to do with inflation, anything to do with weapons as well, oil and shipping. Saturn is, for example, the ships, ships that is carrying food or coming through the Strait of Hormuz, for example. It's in Aries, fire sign. It could be synced or it could be on fire. So there could be something happening with the ships as well. All right, what else is happening? Yes, because of Saturn and Jupiter are actually squaring. Okay, okay, yes, that could be something like that. All right, and it could be also some kind of protest in a homeland or against, like settlers, for example. Hmm. Yeah, definitely that could be as well. All right. But we have the Middle East conflict and it's pressuring Europe, it's pressuring US. I told you guys I put gas in my SUV like for it was close to $90 or 104 one. So it is just crazy right now how high is the oil and the gas right now. Uh, and obviously there is an inflation right now, and America, the general public doesn't do well. People are losing their insurance, health insurance, everyone is suffering, food is very expensive, the tariff put an additional extra, and it's always the consumer who pays for tariffs as well. So, for example, long distance traveling became like a luxury right now for many, and we will see it's trade routes also, international trade routes also, and it's a conflict right now as well. So what else could be? Food prices, obviously, because of the tariff, because of the oil is really high. The war with Iran, yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue again because the price is going up, food prices are going up. Um, And you know, the moon itself also, and its trines with Saturn, so agriculture, householding, farming, anything to do with feminine nourishment, right? Domestic supply chain as well, could suffer. Farmland could suffer, for example. And Jupiter could expand this suffering because of Jupiter squares with Saturn. So there could be a famine, there could be some kind of fertility issue, or the crops going to burn down, for example, or there is no fertilizer, and you know the crops could become ill as well. Uh, yes, so food security could be an issue. And as I went to shopping right now, Publix or Aldi or Costco, I'm going around, and you know, shelves are empty sometimes, and you don't have your favorite things anymore because it's exported from Europe, and because of the tariff, it doesn't, you know, worth to export some items. So I can see that also happening as well. Yes. Okay. And the public health emergency could be, you know, something to do with a new outbreak. And right now we have Ebola and we had the hantavirus. That's very funny because I told you guys Neptune, Saturn is always a new pandemic or new kind of, they're going to try at least to do a new pandemic. And the hantavirus in Hebrew, means fake and scam. So guess what? All right, but you know, we do have an Ebola outbreak, unfortunately, the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. So it's very serious and it's an international concern right now, and the full moon could bring that in, especially on Antares. So because of Jupiter in Cancer, it's connected also with family health and hospitals and public care as well. You know, people, children, mothers, you know, could become actually very vulnerable. The population, but more like children, could become really or the travelers could become, you know, very vulnerable right now because of the outbreak. So we will have to, you know, really see where are we going, or if you are traveling. I definitely wouldn't travel during Uranus-Mars conjunction. I tell all my clients, please be careful. We're gonna have a false flag operation. We're going to have some kind of nuclear issues. And as you can make sure you are buying some food, it's not a fear mongering, but just make sure you will be able to support your loved ones during this heavy period right now. Yes, so definitely it can trigger some kind of disease outbreaks as well, right? Because of the traveling. And then it could also bring in some kind of visa restriction for the countries where are the outbreaks, because they're not going to allow those people to come to, you know, your country. Because those are red zones, and they want to protect their own nations, right, own people. Um, and also because of the hospital, Jupiter does rule Pisces as well, this moon ruler. So it's also rules, it's co-rules with Neptune over there, and that's hospitals, right? So anything what Jupiterian energy, anything also what Piscean energy over here, you know, with hospitals as well, it could bring in some kind of quarantine, not necessarily, you know, all over in the world, but in some countries could be. Or as I said, because they are just having restriction, other countries not going to allow them into their country. So screening because of some kind of bigger outbreak on over here. And Antares, in medical astrology, inflames the flame, inflates the infection as well. So yes. Mm, when we're going to have political debate, because Jupiter is law and order, and Sagittarius, you know, also rules the ninth house, which is definitely, you know, like a law. Mothers and children going to be, and families going to be center of any kind of political debate, or education. For example, churches, religion, and education going to be center of political debate right now. So that's what we're going to see. Um, anything to do with moon-related land, property, shelter, family roots, what Cancer rules, right? What the moon rules, and because of the moon, the Sagittarius moon, ruled by Jupiter, which is in Cancer, it could bring in some kind of either real estate relief with housing or legislation or mortgage debates or, anything to do with rent pressure, insurance issues. It's going to be center of the focus right now during this full moon. Even some kind of climate relocation could happen because of it could be like, all right, Jupiter in water sign, it could be some kind of flooding happening during this time, and it could bring in some kind of climate relocation as well, migration because of some kind of climate issues, or displacement, obviously. Uh, and what else? The markets. The markets pressure, it's gonna happen on real estate and also international export, import, and tariff issues right now because Sagittarius rules that, right? And Antares is going to add an additional shock. I don't even know if we ever will be shocked again because of, every single day we are waking up and what the F happened again kind of situation. But it's also, brings in anger as well. And it could bring in Antares and the full moon happening on that market decline, for example. And something to do with commodities, something to do with the moon is actually silver and the sun is gold, and they opposing each other. But the sun is on Aldebaran and the moon is on Antares. So, the silver could show some kind of decline. However, it does time with Pallas and Vesta and Saturn. So maybe in this case, because it's creating um, a triangle, which is like could be it's from a sextile, a trine, and an opposition, which actually could make the gold and silver becoming stronger, and it could become because Saturn is old-fashioned, like we are leaving fiat currency anyway, going to gold, silver, and precious metal currency, and after we're gonna go to cryptocurrency from fiat. So yes, it could bring in some kind of opportunity with silver and gold and real estate as well. Mm. What else happening here? Uranus is very close to the sun. It's in 3 degrees already. Well, anything to do with technology and cryptocurrency. But I do believe cryptocurrency is going to get right now because it's in Gemini already and sextile with Neptune, trine with Pluto. I believe this is going to get strengthened and it's going to get stronger as well. However, something to do with energy, with solar flares, with solar energy. Could be an issue at this moment. Traveling, something to do with drone accidents or yeah, it could because of the moon opposing Uranus. It could be actually airplane crashes, guys. Mm, yeah. Okay. Defense stock and security, obviously, that sector going to gain attention over here. Border protection as well. And pharma and biotech also can become central of thought because of we going to have some kind of outbreak during this time. And it could be the Ebola or it could be something else, but that's why big pharma could also get some kind of attention during this time. Okay. All right. What else? Universities, education system is also going to gain some kind of attentions. Maybe there will be a lot of protest on universities, or they're just going to change. I would say a lot of professors going to resign during this time, and Mibdian publishing YouTubers going to get fired, or they're going to lose their YouTube channel, for example, with millions of followers. It could happen right now because Antares is revengeful, and somebody is revengeful, and that's why the people who speaks the truth could be censored, even if it is training with Saturn, but Saturn is censorship, and it's frustrated in areas. And it's creating a negative effect on the ones who are uh, you know mm, having that kind of issues. And anything to do with food workers and domestic labor, something with caregivers, teachers, and nurses, and public service employees could, have some kind of disruption because of transportation, because of ninth house and third house is transportation. It's the road, it's protest. Maybe the gas is so high they are not capable to go to teach, or summer camp, or whatever, teach over there. So there could be some kind of hospital worker, nurses strike happening right now, teacher strikes happening right now. So we will see that. Or transportation, Amazon drivers, they have enough from Bezos, and the workers for Elon, they also have enough. They are not paid enough, and that could happen. All right. Right now we're going to go one by one for Aries Rising, Sun and Moon. I'm gonna start with, and I'm not going to do the meditation because it's way too long right now. Just a second. Let me stop you guys for a moment. Pause. All right, I'm going to start with Aries rising sun and moon. If you watch that for your sun sign, that's everything about your career, your health, your father figure. Moon sign is your subconscious, your real estate, family, your roots, your mother figure, the way you are mothering, perhaps your children, your fears as well. And then it could be your rising sign, everything about you. So, yes, so Aries rising sun and moon is gonna happen in your ninth house. Ninth house is anything to do with your higher education, publishing, anything to do with law, teachers, visas, immigration, belief system, and foreign lands and traveling as well. And the sun is in Gemini across, which is your third house, which is your siblings, which is, documents, your neighbors, your writing, your short trips and contracts, the way you are studying and understanding anything, either your communication. And Jupiter and Venus is in Cancer, blessing you from the fourth house of home and family, anything to do with property and ancestry over here. So anything to do with visa, immigration, you might going to get a foreign document, maybe a school application, and you get accepted. A court issue could turn out for your favor, or ending a court issue right now. A travel decision or a visa matter, a relocation also could surface in your life right now. And Antares also over here. So it's very intense. For example, you feel like the system betrayed you, but you didn't get the scholarship or the financial aid, and you have to find another way to support yourself. Somebody promised you something, maybe a neighbor, a family member, but they are not willing to pay for it, or they're not able to pay for it. So you don't necessarily feel that kind of protection from them. It could also bring your belief system, your religion's belief could collapse right now. And your whole entire worldview is under, transformation as well. You realize the political ideology, the spiritual belief, the guru, your master, or is not who you thought he or she is before, and you no longer want to have a guru and that teacher anymore. you feel betrayed by them, um, and you leave them. There could be also a publishing or a teaching job is ending right now. Maybe you were abroad teaching and you going home to your own country. It could be also like a YouTube as well, like you didn't feel YouTube channel is YouTubing anymore for you and you are leaving. And anything to do with public teaching also, like you don't want to teach anymore. It could be like you have to take a testimony, some kind of legal testimony to a court and testify for something right now. Pallas Athena helps you to give you strategy at this moment because it's training with you. So, and also you do have devotion definitely from Aries, the sign of Aries, because Vesta is there in your fifth house, and it helps you with those devotion. With when you are speaking the truth, you make sure you devote it to it, and your message is serious, and people going to feel justice who are involved with your speech as well. So it also could influence obviously your family and house, and because of Venus and Jupiter is in your fourth house, there is a blessing and support coming from a mother figure or from your family itself, not necessarily financially, but support system. You can maybe stay with them because of, like you started university, but it didn't suit you and you going home and or you finished university perhaps, but maybe you have no job yet and you want to go home to your people. Anything to do with neighbor, sibling, student, because of you have the Sun and Aldebaran over here, a conversation could become really important with a neighbor or a sibling. You could become a leader in a community. It is integrity. It's like people are listening and they helping you. Then also you have health and so anything to do with stress because Saturn is in Aries in the first house. So it could be very heavy over here. You can have something inflamed. You can have a lot of pressure. You can have inflamed joint right now. Anything to do with liver themes, right? Because of Sagittarius Full Moon, it's the liver or your hip are inflamed right now. And you have to take care of that. And also, it could be something to do with travel expensive and educational expenses as well. You will need somehow the support with a real estate, with a housing from the family right now. And most likely you will get that. At the beginning, maybe they will say no, but later on they will be, what, we get the money, we get some, money from the bank and we will be able to support you. Taurus rising, sun and moon. Oh, I wanted to change the here. What should I change? The background? Or how should I do that? Because I shared this and I want to stop sharing. And then I should, let me see, change the background here. Let's see if I cover this. Okay. And let me see if I can change. Sorry about that, but I like those video effects and what I created. Okay, let me see Taurus because I'm already talking about Taurus rising, sun and moon. Oh yeah. Okay, it's happened. Good. So Taurus rising, sun and moon, what's gonna happen for you guys? It's going to happen actually in your eighth house. Eighth house is shared money, debt, taxes, loans, inheritance, insurances, intimacy. anything to do with your secrets, with trauma as well, and psychological transformation. And the sun is in Gemini in the second house, and that is your saving, your self-worth, your morals, integrity, possession, and your personal resources. Jupiter and Venus is in your third house of communication, writing, siblings, documents, local travel, and business conversation. And Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in your 12th house, which can bring in some kind of private enemies, hidden fears, spiritual discipline, and hospital retreat and unconscious patterns as well in these pictures. So, for example, my dear Taurus, this full moon going to expose something around taxes and debt and loans, your credit cards, maybe you get charged for something and you have to do dispute, mortgages. Maybe you are capable to pay off your mortgages. You can get an inheritance, or you can get a good prenup, a child support paid out, anything to do with, spouse money, perhaps going to get more money or lose a job. But spouse could lose a job because Antares is over here. And Aldebaran across with the sun, you might going to have a sidekick job because your significant other gets sick or lost his job. So you need to, to work more, for example. And you're going to have your gift to be monetized right now. Your intimacy and trust going to be tested as well because of the eighth house is anything to do with fears and power and vulnerability, your sex life as well. So definitely you could have some kind of deep conversation around loyalty, for example. And also financial dependency. Do I want to be independent or dependent on anyone? Antares over here could bring in some kind of suspicion or jealousy, obviously. So yes, and also Saturn and Pallas and Vesta in Aries in the 12th house suggest some kind of spiritual quest here for you. You might have an old anger or grief or fear, some kind of survivor pattern, which could be like wearing you off and you are exhausted from it. You're not able to sleep. You have some kind of nightmares, for example, because you have a lot of debt and you feel like you are controlled and it's hard for you right now. But also, as I said, because we have the second and eighth house over here, which is money and shared money and your income and savings as well. It could also bring in, maybe you're not going to show your significant other how much tax refund you get. Maybe you get an inheritance and you're not going to share that. It's gonna go on your own account because of your significant other perhaps are either not loyal or it could be like not working as much as you do. There could be definitely some kind of, because third house you have Jupiter, Venus, so some kind of blessing coming from neighbors or siblings, obviously, or some kind of, local environment as well. Maybe you will have, you can visit your sister, siblings, or they going to visit you. A short distance travel brings some kind of joy and pleasure for you, or you have really good conversations with your friends and siblings as well. Uh, and it could heal your trauma. They're going to listen to you if you have some kind of loyal issues with your significant others. Uh, any kind of sleep disorder and some kind of issues with digestion as well could rise during this time. Anything to do also with hidden, grief and trauma. Right now, it needs some attention. You have, because of we have Jupiter in Cancer, and cancer is stomach and breast as well. So you can have some kind of issue with fluids in breast and stomach that needs some kind of diagnosis, and you need to make sure you are okay. And if you get a loan or some kind of insurance right now, careful a little bit because of there could be some kind of restriction or some kind of you need to pay more tax on it. Maybe you didn't know you need to pay tax if you sell your crypto, for example, and it could be an issue there. All right, we're going to go to Gemini Rising, Sun and Moon, and I'm going to change that for Gemini for you guys. Let's see. Okay, I barely see. That's so sad lately. Okay, where is my Gemini Rising, Sun and Moon? I have Cancer. I have Virgo, but here it is. I have Gemini, sorry. All right, so Gemini rising sun and moon is going to happen actually in your seventh house, the full moon. It's across you, it's mirroring you, it's your open enemies, your business partner, contracts, it's your competitors, your VIP people, your followers also from YouTube or social media, anything to do with public facing relationship. And you are supported by Aldebaran right now because the sun is on Aldebaran in your first house, which is your identity, your appearance, your life direction, anything to do with your personal choices and your voice as well. And Jupiter and Venus is blessing you from the second house. And second house is values, food, wealth, and income, your possession, your savings. Saturn Pallas is in your 11th house, Vesta here as well. Your network audience and also your group, your organization, long-term goal as well. So it could be like some kind of relationship become either very truthful or like it's going to become maybe even a partner could a spouse could become a competitor or a client. You taught them during the years, and right now they become your open enemies. And you're going to be angry because Antares is over here. You feel like you get betrayed. And obviously, Antares is jealousy, I told you guys, and it's a power struggle dynamic over here. But the sun and Aldebaran in your first house going to stand and ask you to stand with integrity. Even if you feel you are betrayed and poisoned, don't act, like with the same poison. Uh, so don't bring more drama and drag yourself into more drama right now. Uh, yes, so a business partnership definitely can reach turning point that the collaboration is not working anymore. You have to let it go. Maybe a legal agreement's going to end right now, or a consulting work, especially if you are a mediator. Or even a public conflict could end right now if you are sued or if you are suing someone. Um, and it could end for you on a good term because of Venus and Cancer in the second house supporting you. So actually, you can get some kind of money out from this, legal matter. Open enemy, definitely your open enemy is going to be revealed. It's open enemy, so you already know who is that. But you can end the person. It's if the person was really hostile or jealous. You are capable to protect yourself right now because Aldebaran is really protecting you in the first house. It brings you truth and clarity. You have the receipt, so you can stand up stand up against this poisonous person here. Your personal identity, anything to do with rebalancing in the first house, or getting, you are not reactive anymore. You are more like you're not going to over compromise. You make sure you're standing in the truth, but you're not going to. If somebody is not going to meet you halfway, then you're just going to stop those relationships. Money definitely can improve with Venus and Jupiter being in your second house. Something to do with sales, maybe real estate connected to this income, or caregiving as well. Or a family member can give you a down payment for your first house as well. Teaching, writing, absolutely possible for you as well. And the friend group, because of Saturn, Vesta, and Pallas is in your 11th house, going to show seriousness around your network, around your social media community, political group, and they are want you to succeed. Actually, they're going to help you to succeed. Um, and your body image definitely going to become a lot better. You're not going to be restless anymore. You don't want to overstimulate yourself. You have Aldebaran here who is supporting you and allowing you to, for example, to sleep and feel better. All right, let me see Cancer Rising, Sun and Moon, if I find a background for you guys. Oh, so Cancer Rising, Sun and Moon are here. Yeah, I did find this quickly. It's going to happen in your sixth house. Sixth house, anything to do with your head, anything to do with, like your daily routine, your schedule, your workload, the co-workers, obligation, health habits. And Antares is here, and it can actually burn out, bring a burnout for you. Maybe you realize, like you are overworked, you always help others, your co-workers, and you are unpaid for that. And you are giving labor, but there is no kind of like payment for that. And also, it could bring in some kind of issues, health issues as well. Aldebaran and the sun is in your 12th house, so it could be like, all right, I need to support my immune system, but I need to sleep more, for example. So I need to get away and find peace at home when I'm hidden from society and I don't want to go out, I don't want to get socialized at all. You have Jupiter, Venus in the first house, which is definitely supporting your healing as well. And it says, okay, you can stop martyring yourself right now, and definitely you are loyal. Nobody can come with the loyalty card over here. Just make sure you take care of yourself and you sleep enough. The health routine needs some kind of adjustment because there could be some kind of inflammation and some kind of excessive stress right now from work. And Sagittarius is liver and hips and thighs, so maybe there could be some kind of issues, fatty liver or some kind of gaining weight right now. Maybe you are indulging sugar and alcohol, and then it's creating candida and inflammation. So be careful with that for sure, because you need to get. And if you are, like the doctors say you have diabetes or you have any kind of chronic illness, go get a second opinion right now. There could be also like a coworker, an employee is saying goodbye, even a tenants, maybe, they are moving abroad or they just ending their work cycle right now. It could also bring in some kind of dramatic end for a dysfunctional relationship with a coworker or maybe even with a dog or a small pet, they can do their last breath during this time for some of you. There could be definitely a lot of career responsibility because Saturn Pallas Vesta is in your 10th house right now, which can bring in some kind of career responsibility, public accountability, anything to do with pressure from bosses or government or authority figures. But yes, there is pressure, but also there is honor in it, right? There is also some kind of recognition in it as well. You definitely going to become visible. And because Jupiter Venus is in your first house, you will feel magnetic and beautiful and confident in your personal growth. So you can upgrade your what is that? Renew your wardrobe, maybe invest in new skin cares or hair. Definitely could happen right now. And the 12th house, the Sun and Aldebaran is over there. It could actually bring some kind of light on some hidden grief or sadness, some kind of hidden enemy as well. And you might going to get a little bit of surprise over there, and you can grieve a friendship, for example, because you thought somebody is supporting, but actually talking behind your back. But prayer, journaling, therapy, and sleep, dream therapy could be hypnosis could be also really good right now. Um, and as I said, pets and caregiving, pets health routine. Vet appointments could make you busy during this time. Leo rising, sun and moon. Let me change this background for you guys. Leo rising, sun and moon. Here is my beautiful Leos. All right, so it's going to happen for you in your 5th house, which is children, romance, creativity, anything to do with your performance. It's speculation business, it's lottery winning, fertility, gambling, it's your personal joy, it's pleasure. The sun in Gemini going to be with Aldebaran and activate your 11th house. 11th house is your audience, your network, social media, anything to do with your group's long-term dreams. And Jupiter and Venus is going to bless you from the 12th house, which is spiritual protection and hidden blessing. Maybe retreat, hospital. It's also rules hospice as well, so it could bring in actually a miraculous healing as well. You can get out from long-term treatment. You can get healed if you had some kind of addiction. It's an emotional release over there as well. And Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta going to be in your 9th house, which is law, travel, publishing, and higher education. Also, it's the truth and religion. So it could actually bring in some kind of intensity around the children, this full moon. Something to do with children education, even pregnancy and fertility as well. Maybe you going to IVF right now. Maybe the first one didn't happen. It could bring in a romance, but the romance maybe you are married and actually that is just like a like unloyal relationship somehow. Antares is here. It could be dramatic, passionate, but very, very. It could create adultery. That's what I wanted to say. Yes. So, what else could bring? And Aldebaran is in the 11th also. There could be a support from friends during this heavy time. Maybe, there is an issue with fertility, but your friends are supporting you. You find a group who went through the same and they're going to support you. A romance definitely can feel, very intense, very magnetic, but there is a lot of mess because Antares is here, so it brings temptation and attraction, but also jealousy as well. Uh, I have to be honest, right? And the 5th house always wants to have fun and freedom and adventure and chemistry, but Antares could be obsessive over here. Maybe unconsciously you are obsessive. Maybe the new lover is obsessive. Maybe you get a stalker. Because you had a secret romance, but you ended, but the person doesn't leave you alone. So it could be a little bit, an issue here. Definitely the creative visibility could increase during this time as well. If you are an artist and performer, if you are a writer, even an astrologer or content creator, it could bring in some kind of public joy for you because Aldebaran is in the 11th house. So audience could find you amazing. For example, your message are structured and educational and amazing. Friendship, you can also gain some friendship, good friends, for example, who are very supportive, a community who always have your back. Anything to do with legal, publishing, educational pressure from the 9th house, you have Pallas, Vesta, and Saturn trine with this moon, could bring in some kind of serious focus on visas, higher education, or legal issues as well. But it's a trine, so it could bring in actually a positive change, a copyright protection, something to do with editing. Finally, you find a good publisher or editor right now, the last minute, but you have to be really devoted and yeah. And also, you can turn something, a hobby, to monetize a hobby right now. A talent to become a gift could become a career. Speculation, fifth house is gambling as well. It could bring in some kind of risky investment, something with crypto threats, right? You are like, all right, I gonna put all my eggs in whatever, a new, coin, meme coin or whatever, because you are overconfident with Jupiter over here. But Antares is the heart of the Scorpio. Careful, careful with gambling, because you can hurt yourself. And yeah, then, also Jupiter, Venus in Cancer in the 12th house, it's protective, it's a blessing, as I said, through therapy, through forgiveness. Very, very important to forgive. All right, and then we're going to go Virgo rising, Sun and Moon. We are almost half way through, guys. So the background effects over here is Virgo. Here is my Virgo rising, Sun and Virgo rising, Sun and Moon is going to happen in your fourth house, the full moon, which is your parents, your family, your mother, your lands, your ancestry, private life. That is your emotional foundation. This is your property, the house you are living in. And the Sun in Gemini with Aldebaran activates your 10th house. 10th house is anything to do with your reputation, public status, leadership, government, anything to do with your career. And Jupiter is Venus going to bring a blessing from the 11th house of friends, network, audience, community, And Pallas Athena, Vesta, Aries, is in Aries in your 8th house, which is your taxes, the shared resources, insurance, intimacy, trauma, inheritance, detective, death, right? So something to do with your family. A truth might going to erupt during this time, and it could expose the family dynamic, some kind of ancestral wounds, some kind of property issues, something to do with concern with parents, mother figure, a moving decision as well. Could like coming into your circle, to your life right now. And you can become angry because of that. Maybe you need to move because your parents get sick. Um, and maybe it's not permanent, but at least for half a year, or you have to move your parents with you, obviously, and maybe your significant other won't be happy, so you're going to have some kind of issue with that. Maybe you get a public recognition, 10th house Aldebaran with the sun, and you need to move, and your family doesn't want to move just because of you get a new job in a different country or, different city. So career and family has a pull, an opposite direction pull over here, the public and private life, in opposition right now. Yes, you do have an obligation with the family, but also you want to take on to a career which is like your professional goals never looked so great right now. And it could be also something to do with property and real estate. Maybe you have to move, as I said, but you won't sell the house as much for as you wanted, and it could bring in some kind of issue. Or maybe you're going to have some kind of rental issues as well, and home repair could come in as well, and it could take a lot of money. Yes, and then it could be like you need new appliances, for example, right now to buy. And Venus and Cancer, it's in the 11th house. So blessing is coming from friends and community. Maybe you need a new stove or fridge or whatever, but you are not capable to pay for right now. But somebody from your community or friends doesn't need what they have, and they blessed financially, and they just gonna give it to you. Um, Definitely could happen. And also, there could be some kind of family wealth, inheritance, or death that can require some kind of decision. Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in the eighth house, so this is something serious with inheritance and taxes, also with loans and wills. And it could be because it's trining the fourth house, it could bring in actually, maybe you're going to refinance your house or your family is so loyal and they're going to help you with, as I said, with the money to pay off your mortgage or help you to down payment of your first house, something like that. And the community friend also, support your new chapter as well. It could be like you don't need to buy a house maybe because you get a professional opportunity, but you can stay at a friend house instead, and then you don't need to take your family with you. You can just go and commute or go for a month there and a month back with your family, back and forth. The pressure is heavy, but somehow the community and friends capable to take that heaviness away, and the community can become actually the medicine over here for you. Or maybe because of it's the 11th house, you will be offered to do that online and not to leave. So somehow some kind of help is coming from the 11th house. Um, yes, a parent or authority figure could be also part of this, um, kind of family issues. Maybe because of their health is going to get weakened, and you need to take care of them as well. Yes, and there could be also if you had any kind of issues with mortgage or like even if you had some kind of credit issues right now, it could be solved during this time. Libra rising, sun and moon. It's going to happen in your third house, and then ninth house going to be Aldebaran and the sun for you guys. Where is Libra? I have to check my Libra rising, sun and moon here. Yes, Libra rising, sun and moon. So it's happening the third and ninth house. Third house is your siblings, your neighbors, documentation, teaching, short trips, schools, course, daily conversation, emails. That's your aunt, uncle, niece, nephews. And Aldebaran and the sun activates the ninth house of law and publishing, foreign lands, religion, visas, philosophy. Jupiter and Venus in Cancer going to bless you from the 10th house of career and reputation, public visibility and achievement. And Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta in Aries going to activate your 7th house of marriage, clients, partners, contract, and open enemies. So, you know what's going to happen, my dear Libras, over here with full moon in your 3rd house. So, there has to be a very important conversation with a sibling or a neighbor, something to do with the contract, maybe with the school situation for your children as well, or maybe you are the one who finishing, an education perhaps, but it has to be something based on skills or crafts, for example. Um, there could be also a falling out with a sibling and a neighbor right now. You can give advice without they were asking you, and they distance themselves from you. Could be some kind of educational or publishing issue coming up, because that's the third and ninth house axis over here, which rules law and paperwork as well. And it could be also something to do with you need to apply for a visa, or you need some kind of bureaucratic documentation, more legal documents, to have your university. Maybe you have to, like get a scholarship or something like that. So more documents has to be filled out. There could be an academic deadline, and you might have missed it. And right now you have a second opportunity to open that up as well. Um, Yeah, there could be an issue with an older siblings, because of their philosophy, their religion, change them, and you don't agree with them. Career visibility going to definitely increase because of Venus and Jupiter is in your 10th house and bringing some kind of recognition and public support opportunity. You can get a better reputation, you can get a promotion as well, more followers, for example. Definitely, it's excellent for your career growth. And especially if you are a woman or if you are working with housing or caregiving or families, education as well, and hospitality. Um, so also Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in your seventh house. So, bring some kind of seriousness to marriage and clients and legal opponents as well. But it's a trine, so there is a good communication between the full moon and Pallas and Vesta, and you are being very wise. So even you are devoted and wise, so you make sure you choose the right alliances and you're not going to start a war without not seeing the whole entire chessboard. It could be sibling neighbor conflict, as I said, and a clash maybe because of you are don't believing in the same, even with an old classmate, the same political ideology you don't have, and you just start to fight. Um, or something to do with education and morality and religious political topic. I would actually not talk with anyone anymore, especially with siblings about that and with neighbors because it could bring in some kind of issues. Um, yeah, and if you're a content creator or YouTuber or you're doing workshops, newsletters, it could, like you need more marketing. If you do any public speech as well, you need more visibility and you will get more visibility right now with a blessing from the 10th house. Your health might be affected. Maybe you are overloading yourself with news and messages and, writing constantly. So you have issues, carpal tunnel, or your back hurts, or a lot of mental noise. And you just like need to declutter your mind somehow. Scorpio rising, sun and moon. Let me see my beautiful Scorpio rising, sun and moon, my detectives, my little Sherlock. Here it is. Yes. So Scorpio rising, sun and moon is going to happen in your second house. Second house is money. It's your income. It's your saving, guys. Okay. Anything to just a second, I had to answer to this because I'm going to walk every night with my friends. And it's already 9 o'clock, but anyway, we're gonna go to work. So I hope I can finish it quickly. The second house for you Scorpios, the values, possession, personal resources. And the sun in Gemini and Aldebaran in your eighth house, which sees your shared resources, your taxes, debt, loans, inheritance, investment, intimacy, right? Jupiter Venus going to bring in a blessing from your ninth house, which is a foreign land, a higher education as well. Uh, but foreign land, a spiritual, maybe a travel over here. So you will be traveling or you get into university and it brings wisdom and blessing for you. Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in your sixth house, which is health, work, routine, and co-workers. Also pets as well. So, all right, the second house, your income and your spending, savings, your values is actually going to be in focus right now. And Antares is here. So, it could be like maybe I'm not making enough money, or maybe I undervalued or underpaid, or somebody constantly financially controlling you somehow. Aldebaran in the eighth house could bring in some kind of good tax refund, but also it could bring in some kind of good investment as well, maybe in stock investment, or it could bring you some kind of story with inheritance, right? And it's the axis energy with the second and eighth house. So definitely it's finances. It could be your spouse going to get a bonus or more money or some kind of insurance money paid through your spouse to you. Um, it could bring in a good prenup for you. Um, it could be also in the second house, you might going to have to give up a day-to-day job because of it just, check paycheck by paycheck paying you and you want to grow. Or maybe you get an inheritance and you don't need to work anymore. A lottery winning and you don't need to work anymore. Pallas Saturn and Vesta in the sixth house, pressure around the daily work, but also, your health habits and schedules are stressing you, but also it's bringing you opportunities. You are overloaded with work, but also financially it's aligning and it's going to increase your salary, for example. You also have to eat cleaner. That is the trine, second and sixth house. Second house, the food what you eat as well. It could be like you going to invest money in pets and. Maybe you're going to regret it because you spent $20,000 on a dog and the dog is not worth that money because you wanted to breed it, but it can't breed, right? Something like that. Travel publishing, because you have Jupiter Venus blessing from the ninth house. So definitely it could bring in some kind of legal protection and immigration support for you and international opportunities, especially if you're an astrologer, healer, writer, teacher, lawyer, it can bring in more work and more consultation. Emotional eating is possible during this time because second house is your eating habit as well. You can have more appetite, you can have cravings for sugar and alcohol. So careful with that. And if you invest, make sure, you don't have debts and make sure, you are safe. So financial safety is very, very important. My fellow Sagittarius rising, sun and moon, it's going to happen in our first house, right? If you have a rising sign, let me see. I'm going to change this for my Sagittarius fellow risings as well. Here it is. All right. And in our first house. So, that's our identity or appearance or personal direction, something to do with our vitality and self-definition as well. And Gemini and Aldebaran activates our seventh house, which is or marriage or client contracts, VIPs, followers, for example, business partners and open enemies as well. Jupiter Venus in Cancer is going to give a blessing from the eighth house, which is shared resources, intimacy, healing, inheritance, surgeries, loans, taxes, right? So obviously, and Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in our fifth house of children, romance, and fertility, pleasure, and speculation, also creativity. So, all right, obviously, the full moon conjunct on Antares. And there could be some kind of emotional truth coming out, something with your identity, with your choices. Maybe you are really angry. You were really courageous, standing in the truth, and actually it stabbed you and it shadow banned you, for example. And that's why you are angry. And you have to let go this anger. Aldebaran is in the seventh house, which is like the relationship is mirroring you, but it's giving the truth back to you. Someone who is nice to give you actually feedback, and not necessarily gently all the time, but it is like, all right, you need this because in this case, if I give you this feedback, you're going to become more effective and more successful, for example. A relationship, also because it's the first and seventh house axis, right? So anything to do with a business partner collaboration or maybe marriage as well or client, it could peak, right now reach a peak as well. because your truth is challenged. Somebody can accuse you, or you can get a lot of admirer, right? Because of Aldebaran is here, so that could be, admirers as well, a lot of followers as well. It could bring in reactive people, for example, and. Because of we have the full moon in our first house, the appearance is going to change definitely. You can become more visible, right? Because this is a full moon. Careful with your thighs, hips, and your movement. Anything to do with the liver. You can do a liver detox. Right now, I started dandelion and milk thistle as well, and artichoke. So you can support your healings, some kind of release, some kind of trauma, and start some kind of body work. It could also repair your intimacy as well. And you can get a lot of financial support and intimate support from the eighth house as well. So definitely you get more subscribers, more followers, monetize yourself, and then obviously, or a legal matter turn for your favor and you sued somebody and it's gonna go on your bank account. You can get also inheritance as well. Your significant other could get a support or a raise or some amazing opportunity or an inheritance, and their money is going to help you also. Shared money definitely bring in blessing, insurance and taxes, for example, partner income. Investors support as well. Maybe you invested money in stock and right now it's going to do very well. Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta in Aries in the fifth house, it's very serious over here. And, Saturn is over here, so your heart, your circulation, careful with that. But you have to discipline your children somehow and you have to guide them and protect them. But strategically, right? If you discipline, you have to be really creative with the discipline as well. Or if you're censoring them in something, make sure you do have boundaries, but also creatively as well. Fertility could become an issue somehow, a little bit. So, if you want to get pregnant. Um, Public confidence, full moon in the first house, it could bring a lot of attention. People see you. Your presence definitely going to be stronger. Your emotions are visible. You can become very magnetic because don't forget, Antares is not only revenge and jealousy. But it's also success as well and honor and recognition. So, but the success is going to require integrity, especially in relationship with anyone whatsoever. And yes, the fifth house also activates your speculation and gambling, anything to do with lottery winning. So it's training with you. Why not? Maybe you're going to win the lottery as well. All right, Capricorn rising, sun and moon. It's going to happen actually in your 12th house, and sixth house is Sun and Aldebaran, and seventh house is Jupiter, Venus is the blessing, which is marriage, clients, and contracts. Oh, let me change the things over here. So we're going to Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Where are you, Capricorn? It has to be a goat. Okay, Capricorn is here. Yes. So, yes, 12th house is the full moon, which is your hidden enemies, hospitals, retreats, spiritual release, anything to do with unconscious patterns and grief as well, endings. Um, and the blessing Jupiter Venus is in your seventh house, marriage, clients, contracts, partnership. And sixth house is actually activates your work, health, daily routine with Aldebaran and the sun, co-workers, pets as well, and service for others. And Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta is in your fourth house, which is your property, your parents, your land, your emotional foundation. So you might going to experience a hidden exhaustion. You might going to have a burnout, maybe because of grief, anxiety, sleep issues, right? There is a lot of spiritual heaviness. There is a lot of unconscious pattern, self-sabotaging pattern, for example. behind the curtain. Maybe anger, or maybe, betrayal. Maybe somebody is sabotaging you and you don't know who is that. It's a hidden enemy, but right now it's going to surface and you're capable to confront that person. And then it could be also something to do with work stress, labor, right? Because the axis energy is the sixth house, and you need to surrender. Your routine has to change. And the Sun and Aldebaran going to help you to integrate a better health habits over here, or your dynamic with the coworkers going to change. There was a lot of obligation, but you are not willing to do it anymore because of that's not your responsibility. And finally, you understand that, and you're just going to take whatever is suitable, or like. Not destroying your peace, for example. Jupiter, Venus, seventh house support, so VIP client, partners, anything to do with spouse, doctor, trusted collaborator going to bring a blessing for you. And also the 12th house is going to definitely expose the hidden enemy there. But somehow it could be um, exposed by a colleague, or through a gossip, for example. And you could still have a lot of resentment toward to the person who was your hidden enemy. Obviously, it could make you, you know, not allowing you to sleep, for example. And then the protection, it could be also your partner is getting some kind of money or bonus, or progressing at his work or her work. Definitely, it could bring in a marriage or maybe an engagement for you. So that could be really, really good. Okay, just a second. Guys, I have to stop right now because of what is that? Just a second. So, yes, anything to do with home and family responsibilities, it could feel really, really heavy. Maybe you needed some kind of renovation and you didn't expect that. Or, the relocation itself could bring in some kind of financial strain as well. And it could be because of Vesta Pallas is in your fourth house, the past could come to the surface. Maybe it could be like your biological father is not who you thought. Your father is. And it could be also like you need to take care of an elderly person. Your parents are sick, maybe have dementia. And like it's very overwhelming, and you need to stay home a little bit with the parents as well. Or maybe because of it could be like you are pregnant right now and you have to stay in bed, and your move is restricted somehow, and it could be an issue as well. But definitely it could be a disciplined home life right now, maybe because of the elderly person who you have to take care of, or you have some kind of, pain. Saturn is your joint, and that's why maybe you had some kind of inflammation, autoimmune arthritis, and you are not capable necessarily to leave the property at this moment. And your health requires perhaps a new test, or it could be a new diagnosis, or maybe just maintain your health because you do have a lot of chronic stress and sleep issues, and your immune system responds with that for this anxiety, and you feel like you are overworked and overwhelmed, and you need to sleep and rest and just stay away from everyone and everything. But Jupiter, Venus in the seventh, clientess and consulting legal agreement, as I said, and spouse could be a blessing for you. and bring in beautiful, amazing help and prosperity, or decision, helping with your decision for prosperity. All right, Aries rising, sun and moon, guys. We're gonna go and find the Aries over here, and we go two more. That is not Aries, actually. That's Aquarius. I'm sorry, I already went through of Aries. So Aquarius rising, sun and moon, what's gonna happen for you? So the full moon, it's in your 11th house. And 11th house of friends, networks, audience, groups, politics, organization, alliances, social media, also house of luck and long-term dreams and wishes. Some is in Gemini with Aldebaran, activates your fifth house. Fifth house is your creativity, pleasure, fertility, children, romance, performance, anything to do with speculation business. Jupiter Venus is in Cancer in your sixth house, so blessing coming from your work, your health routines, co-workers, perhaps, tenant or landlord as well. It could be like you adopt a pet, you get a pet, your pet could get a miraculous healing, Your coworker helps you to finish your work in time, and you are capable to go for that travel with your lover. Saturn Pallas is in your third house. It's short trips, it's documentation, siblings, and that is actually your marketplace, the familiar as well, local traveling, and you can actually create a workshop, start to teach. Maybe you're doing your what is that? Maybe you're doing uh, your not workshop, but it is, oh my God, your website. I'm sorry, I forget this word, website. And you create it somehow. Yes, but definitely it could be like a documentation. You get the document, or you get a license, and you're capable to teach, or get a job, for example, get your dream job because of you get licensed. Um, or a local travel, or a short trip travel is going to bring in some kind of new opportunity. You meet someone over there, and it could be a romantic interest, and you will feel, like you are really, really blessed. Definitely a friend group or organization, maybe, through social media, or professional communities, networking, PRing, uh, could bring in some kind of jealousy, some kind of rivalry. Maybe, it could be an ideological conflict, a group drama. You can have some kind of social media trolls right now. But the remedies in Aldebaran in your fifth house, you have to stay true to your heart, to your authenticity, to the truth itself. So children and your creative project also could be really, really joyful, and that's how you can feed your creativity, and that's how you can stay in peace. Your audience could react really strongly to a message, something what you created, a content, what you perform, the way you speak and write. You can become a lead in a group, and it could be also bringing rivalry as well, because you are visible, but your emotions are also visible. You are very emotionally react to things, and that's why it could bring in some kind of conflict with a group, with friends as well. The fifth house and 11th house axis also, what do I create for myself, and how do I share what I created with others, with the collective, or should I act up on my creativity and claim my creative project just for my own, or should I add someone, who have me, but just a little bit, and maybe they should not be the co-writers, right? It could be also like a child, a student, or a romantic interest could also create some kind of artistic project, and you are very proud of them. as well. You can be really proud of your child because it's got a honor recognition. Um, can get in, for example, a sport league group chosen and you worship them, right? It could be also like the sixth house, you have Jupiter, Venus, and you get a lot of support. So your health gets better because you are doing some kind of new healthcare practices or you get new clients. Your work condition improves. Maybe you work less hours, but your salary increasing right now. Your schedule is a lot better. Your pet can get healed right now. Your routine is going to become enjoyable right now. It's not like, okay, like I have to sweat blood, to be able to go to work at night. It is just like the routine is easy going, easy breezy because you have an amazing schedule right now. You can hire someone, employ people, and those are going to make your business breathable and good and easy. And your work routine, the load of work is going to be less for you. Definitely some kind of movement, organization, and collective causes in the 11th house. Antares is over there, which is ideological group, and the group itself could become very passionate or heated, and maybe morally righteous, and it could become fractured. You can have a distance between the people. What any kind of humanitarian project you stood for, but right now you don't represent what they represent anymore. And also, Vesta, Pallas, and Saturn in your third house, it's going to bring serious focus on contracts and school works, also vehicles. Maybe you have to buy a new vehicle, uh, or a new computer, a phone. Right now, it could be possible. You have to do, a licensing or learn a language, for example. You need some kind of documentation. It could be bureaucratic, but with that, even with editing a book and all the big difficulties which comes into it, the end going to be amazing because Pallas is here and it brings strategy, and Vesta is not going to allow you to lose your sacred flame, your devotion. So it's bring blessing for you. Speculation, gambling, entertainment definitely could work for you, and you can get hype on crypto or on your investment. You can win the lottery with Aldebaran and Sun in the fifth house. All right, and last but not least, my beautiful Pisces rising sun and moon. Let me see what's going on over here. And I'm gonna premiere that. I'm not gonna do the full moon because George is watching so loud. Everybody's home and he's watching some movie so loud, so I won't be able to do the moon meditation quietly, nicely for you guys. So I just refuse to do it right now then. But as I said, I want to create a lot of videos for you, but you can, a very professional, but you're capable to listen all the time. And that's going to be meditation videos during the summer. All right, my Pisces rising sun and my beautiful Pisces, the full moon in Sagittarius is going to activate your fourth, oh no, your 10th house actually. Yes. Yeah, the axis energy is in the 10th and 4th house, but the 10th house Sagittarius activates. That's your public status, that's your reputation, your life direction, your career. And the fourth house, where the Sun and Aldebaran are, that's what it's gonna activate. That's your property, parents, land, private life, your security, your home, your real estate itself. And Jupiter and Venus in Cancer going to bless you from the fifth house, which is creativity, joy, art, fertility, anything to do with speculation, with your performance, with your romance as well. And Saturn and Pallas Athena and Vesta in Aries activates your second house. And second house is your values, your morals, the food you eat, your self-worth, your possession, your savings, your income, the salary, belongs from here. So there is definitely going to be some career visibility, and it can reach the peak right now. Full moon, you might going to get retired. There is a huge professional recognition, and you need some kind of to take some kind of public decision. Are you going to actually step back, or are you going to move forward and have another role? Leadership opportunity coming, but with a turning point. You leave something and enter something new. And Antares is here, which is very powerful. And Antares is honor and also praise, to be praised, but also criticized as well. So you get promoted, but you also get challenged with it, right? Because it's more responsibility. You are seen, but you are judged at the same time. So your public life definitely is like, okay, there is honor, with honor a lot of responsibility and judgment coming. So am I able to take it? Um, and sometimes success can destroy home. So because of Aldebaran here in the fourth house with the sun, actually it's the different case. It is like you're going to get support from your home. Because of Aldebaran is like bringing, blessing from your house, from your home situation and family. The 10th house, definitely authority figures. Maybe your boss going to get retired or fired, or the whole entire company could actually get destroyed somehow, or finished, or end, and or going through a turning point, and has to redirect the PR and everything, because Antares is here. So definitely could bring struggle and public conflict, resignation and scandals for the leaders in your company, some kind of moral test competition as well in leadership, right? And Sagittarius is legal matter or some kind of international conflict as well, ideological themes. So it might be some kind of issue with religious, freedom at your work, or some kind of legal matters or international issues coming up at work as well. And Jupiter and Venus in Cancer in the fifth house, so you get blessing from your children, from art, creativity, a lot of emotional support from children. Children could be, really, what is that? Children could be a blessing. You're going to become fertile. You can fall in love, for example. And that is helping you with the conflict at work, because at least your children are amazing, and you have romance in your life. So it's taking off the pressure that you have from work, for example. So yes, the fourth and 10th house axis right now, which is like, success could be there, but also it brings a lot of responsibility, which your family going to also feel. But anyway, they're going to still support you. There could be some kind of, like document issues, or property issues. For example, you might want to move or sell the house. If you sell the house, you can actually sell it for profit. A new family member could come in as well. Expansion of the family. Maybe you're going to buy a new home, or move into a new home, or it could be like renovate your home, right? Uh, but also it could be something to do with your um, Jupiter Venus in Cancer in the fifth house. It could be like your public path going to change. For example, maybe from corporate you go and you create your own business. You're going to be an entertainer. You're going to be a performer, someone who is creating art, right? Music, writing, or theater, stage, right? You can also create astrology content. Why not? But your creativity is visible right now. So you can move from corporate, even if you are working for law firm, and you can become an herbalist, for example, or a musician. You have enough from corporate right now, perhaps. And definitely you need the support from family as well. But also Saturn, Pallas, and Vesta in the second house. So it is like, okay, should I leave the corporate before I start my, like own business because, money could be tight. But Saturn and Pallas says over here and Vesta, you were wise and you have savings. So you had the savings actually for this kind of serious opportunities to start something new. So you do have a financial structure. You did have savings and you just have to watch your spending habits right now a little bit, maybe rebudgeting, but you can and you are capable to adopt and start something that makes you joyous and happy and brings you pleasure actually in life, and it feels like you are not working but you are always in vacation because you do something that you really love, you really enjoy, and obviously it's going to bring money for you because there is also a beautiful trine between the fifth and the 10th house. So yes, that is going to bring you savings as well. And Aldebaran is in your fourth house, so that could be some kind of responsibility with parents, maybe, or with family member. But definitely parents also could be like, okay, they are older, you have to bring that in. Some parents or mother-in-law, father-in-law, uh, renovating, selling a property could be really good for you as well. There is the royal star axis as well, which is integrity. Uh, with your family and public decision, for example, or who you uh, allow to be close to you, for example, who you allow to stay with you in your home. So you can become very private and you can be very defensive of your home as well. Yeah, and hmm. Well, don't get heated with coaches or publicly with leaders because it could, you know, bring a little bit of um, unfame for you. And yeah, definitely not in front of other people. Like public debate could go sideways and infamous. You can become infamous overnight if you are doing that. All right, guys. So I would like to thank you to be here with me, obviously, and to help to grow my channel. And And I would like to ask you again to reach out if you are called to have a personal reading with me, karmakrista@gmail.com, and lunargrace.org is my website. And hide my videos and comment below. Let me know how did it work for you, and share it on other social media platforms, other astrologer platforms, for example. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and bringing a lot more interesting things for you. Bye for now.